Question. Let's see. Ken asks, he says, I've never been a person to drink alcohol until my wife started listening to the show. We now have shared a few bottles of wine together, and I find myself liking sweet wine, probably pretty typical. The one that I've really enjoyed is this Huck with huckleberry flavoring by Huck Wines of Walla Walla, Washington. Can you recommend another wine that is sweet that we may enjoy? And I'm a typical Montana boy who loves steak, so anything that goes well with steak would be wonderful too. So, Mike, you find a lot of people, especially if they're getting new into the wines and just starting to try new wines and everything else, don't they typically, the sweet wines are the ones they like more quickly?
It seems to be the starting point for all wine drinkers. And,
yeah.
You know,
just because they taste good.
Absolutely, and they, you know, they're easy to sip on, they're refreshing, they're very fruit forward, and the one that Ken, and I want to mention his last name, is Munson, because I just think we got to give this guy a shout out for just jumping in on this thing, and I love it. And
who actually was in the witness protection program?
Yeah, but now
WineGuyMike just outed it. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
He's family, Paula.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all in the family.
That's right, buddy.
No, so yeah, I mean, and we were talking about the fact that, and I saw this on your blog. Any fruit and berry has the capability to produce a wine, but obviously grapes do it the best.
Grapes do it naturally. They don't need much encouragement to become a wine.
So what does it take to make a huckleberry into a wine? Do you process it the same way?
Well, they do, but they tweak it a little bit in the lab, you know, or in the tanks. You know, they add a little bit of sugar, not to sweeten it, but to further the fermentation process with the yeast.
So the grapes have their sugars develop naturally. Mother Nature does it, but these other things can do it. It just might need a little help.
They just need a little help, because what happens with a fruit-based wine, the alcohol levels don't rise enough to really be a real wine. So, you know, what that sugar and the yeast and the fermentation does is it drives up the alcohol level to a point where it's a legitimate wine. And,
that's always good.
And I've got, you know, I picked some other nice fruit-based wines, one from 10 Spoon Winery here locally, one from the Flathead Winery. We've got a huckleberry wine that I chose for Ken, because the one that he pointed out that he loved was the Huck wine from Walla Walla area, and that's a really good one. I haven't had it, but I've heard that it's very good.
Now, Mike, don't total wine connoisseurs, I mean the purists, is a wine made from huckleberries, that they kind of look down their nose at that.
You know, who cares? We don't have any rules here on the WineGuyMike show.
But you know, I agree. I mean, I think sometimes when you go in, and beer folks are like this too, microbrew enthusiasts. I mean, sometimes if you try to give them, you know, something that's infused with some sort of berry or something, and they're like,
You know what? Whatever a person likes, that's what's great for them.
And there's a market for it.
And that's what our show is about.
Sure.
You know, we're meeting people where they're at with wine and learning together here. And the other thing that I want to point out that I really love about Ken, we know he's a little bit of a bad boy, because he wants to have his dessert before his dinner.
There you go.
You know, so I kind of like that. You know, he's just going against what his mom told him he couldn't do way back when.
See, and I think people like that, because we went to some good friends of ours' house for dinner, and he's a wine lover, and the type where, you know, you have with every course there's a different wine. You know, which I love, because I know, you know, until you started coming around, I still.
And I'm being telepathetic here, and I picked the wine that your friend loves.
And he put this wine, you know, he puts a glass in front of my wife, and he says, "Try this, you're going to love this." And it's a wine, and it's a fruit wine. It's called Sirocco. And my wife, that is the greatest thing she has ever drank in her life, and now it's her absolute favorite. You drink it with everything.
And that's one of the ones I chose for Ken and featured on our blog, which you can get the link off of the WineGuyMike fan page. So
it's like drinking candy.
It
really is.
And it's sophisticated. That is a beautiful Italian wine that is just probably about the best done one that I've ever tried. Now this Frisk Prickly is another one that has come highly recommended to me. I have not tried it, but Aspen down at Grizzly Liquor assures me, I mean, it's one of her favorites. She loves it. They've got all these wines in stock down there for people to try, and for Ken in particular. So
the Frisk Prickly?
Yes.
The Frisk Prickly.
What's it got in it?
That one is made from 83% Riesling and 17% Muscat. It's got... well, let me just see. What do they say about this wine? Because I haven't had this one.
Are you the captain? Am I to kneel?
Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's hard to have this show with us.
You know, that one is going to be a nice fruity wine, easy to drink, a little bit of minerality to it with that Riesling in there, a little bit of probably some lemon and citrus notes to it. And I think it's one that Ken can venture out and really enjoy.
All right, and they'll go well with a steak?
Hey, you know what?
Anything
whatever
goes well
he
with
likes,
steak, man.
Goes with
he
a
can
steak.
have with his
Anything
steak
goes
as
well
far
with
as
a
I'm
steak.
concerned.
All right, that sounds good. So,
What was Mike's big word of the day? Minerality?
I think minerality.
Yeah, minerality.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to go down and talk to Aspen and say, hey, I want the wine that Mike recommended on the show today.
Yeah.
What was it called?
The Frisk Prickly.
Frisk Prickly.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of them. I've loaded the blog up with a lot of wines. I've got the whole wine flight for the upcoming Table Talk event.
Oh, good.
Okay.
This Saturday at the Doubletree.
And you've got some tickets to give away.
I've got 4 tickets, so I'd like our fans to just send me a note on the Wine Guy Mike fan page or the Ranch fan page. Let us know. They're $75 tickets a piece, and I've got 4 of them, and I'm going to randomly choose to who give the tickets to.
So let's say you have to you post your desire to do that either on Wine Guy Mike's page or on our page by the end of the day Thursday.
Yeah.
That way, Wine Guy Mike can contact you Thursday night, and you can arrange to get pick up your tickets on Friday, and the event, of course, is on Saturday.
Yep, they'll pick up the tickets at the St. Patrick's Foundation office.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Sounds good. Topic for future discussion, maybe closer to the holidays, but I would really like to talk a little bit about mulled wine.
Okay.
And the kind of wines that mull the best.
All right.
Okay?
Mulled.
Put that, file it away.
This sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Mulled wine.
You need a good wine for Halloween, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something for that.
You know.
I like that.
Some
Look, I can pour you a glass
Well,
and throw a
Halloween
candy
wine.
corn in it if you want.
We're going to start
Halloween.
talking more about the reds. You know, it's the season.
Can you make wine out of a pumpkin?
I'll let you know next week.
Speaking of which, you need to load up Tom T. Hall's Watermelon Wine song, because now I'm just thinking about it.
It is 8:30, Mike. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for letting me in the front door.
You bet.
It's
Have a
Wine
great
Wednesday.
day. It's Wine Wednesday, everybody. Brought to you by Lolo Creek Steakhouse and Grizzly Liquor.